This is a California compliant AK-47. Now, in order to make an assault weapon California compliant, the most important thing is how the gun identifies. In California, the easiest way to meet this threshold is simply to identify as legal. Now, as you can see, this gun identifies as legal. Now, because this identifies as legal, this is compliant for tax purposes in California. Now, let's talk about a few other things that make this gun California compliant. Number one, this 30-round mag only identifies as 5 rounds. Without this identification, this is a non-compliant 30-round mag. But you can't stop there, because if you are not virtue signaling the inclusivity, that it's considered a hate crime in California, because they can only assume that you just want to use your guns for hate crime. This, they know, is an inclusive gun, therefore it's only going to be used for inclusive purposes. Now, if you look closely, you can also see this does not identify as a gun. It identifies as a squirt gun. It also has that little bear insignia on the butt and says just the tip, because why not? We normally start with this just to give people a heads up, but right by the trigger, because it does have a trigger on it, we have a trigger warning. So if you are going to get triggered by that trigger, which that's okay, you will get triggered by triggers. Triggers are triggering. They trigger me. Every time I'm playing with this, I'm always like, bang! That's so loud. It's so scary. That's why there's a trigger warning right there for you. It's going to be triggering. Now, when the safety is on a California compliant gun, what that means is not that the gun is not loaded. It means that you are in a safe space. So as soon as you hear that click, everyone in the room is immediately calm in California, because they know everyone is in a safe space at that moment. No one's feelings are going to hurt, and we're going to talk through it. That's what this is about. And so all you have to do is, boom, you hear that click, you're in a safe space. Now, there's one other requirement in California. You do have to have a trigger lock on at all times, because shooting a gun in California is illegal. However, a way around that is when you load the gun ideally in California would remain unloaded at all times. Never load your guns. It's very dangerous loading guns. You don't want a loaded gun in California. That's how burglars get hurt. But if you do decide to put bullets in this, they're very dangerous. I don't recommend it. What you can do is just make sure you engrave on each bullet, I identify as whatever, an egg. Toilet paper is a common one. That way they think it's just like, it's a friendly act. You know, it's not a big deal if someone toilet papers you and just sprays you in a drive-by with toilet paper. If the bullets all identify as toilet paper, everyone feels safer in California. That's why, you know, they've had some of the lowest crime rates because they stopped counting in years. And that's, you know, mainly due to all the gun laws like this that make people feel safe and inclusive. So I know it seems like overkill. It seems like the most inclusive gun you've ever seen. It's very inclusive. It is inclusive, I'm not gonna lie. But that is what it takes to meet the threshold of California legal. So let me know what you think in the comments. You think we did a good job? This was literally billions of dollars in R&D that we had to pour into this bad boy right here. We needed to find what colors made people feel the safest, right? What designs made people feel the safest? What sayings made people feel the safest? Because we knew that if we were going to get through California's gun laws, we needed a gun that made people feel happy and feel safe inside. And it had to be a nice gun. It couldn't be a mean gun. And so many guns these days, they just look mean. And we just didn't want to do that and make that mistake, because we knew we wouldn't be able to get into California if we didn't step up our game and come up with an inclusive design. So if you live in California and you want to support local law enforcement, you want to give them their gun back so they don't have to walk around with, you know, a little silly wooden gun anymore, you can sponsor one of their inclusion jobs here. And all you have to do is just, you go to your Cerakote shop and you tell them you want inclusive pink, inclusive green, inclusive yellow, inclusive orange, and inclusive white. That's the most important one, because some whites are not very inclusive at all. You don't want the non-inclusive white. You have to get inclusive white. If you get non-inclusive white, it changes the whole feel of the gun. It's just, it's so gross. Yeah, I think that's basically it. You have everything you need to create a compliant assault weapon in the state of California now. You're welcome.